It's time to make the donuts. Meet a local entrepreneur who's doing that every day. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Alabama Theater in North Myrtle Beach. We're focused on the grand reopening of the new Krispy Kreme here in North Myrtle Beach today, and we're visiting with Miles Herring, the owner of the local franchise. Good morning, Miles.
Good morning. How are you?
Golly, it must be crazy. Y'all reopened this morning at 5:30.
Yes, sir. 5:30 this morning. We got live again. Hot Light is on in North Myrtle Beach, and we rushed down and brought you as a gift a dozen hot Krispy Kreme donuts.
Sweet. Thank you, Miles. Golly, this is incredible. Just to think about these. Ooh, they are hot. You can see that steam coming off. This is so exciting to think about. What's it like for a grand reopening today?
We've had a very good turnout. We focus a lot on the locals. We do a lot of work with the local market prior to the opening, advertising, getting involved with making sure that everybody is aware that the Hot Light will be back on, kind of a daily theme of what we have going on. We have different events scheduled throughout the week, bringing different groups, anywhere from Ripley's Aquarium to different radio stations doing remotes, product giveaways.
It'll be not only a long day, but a long week.
Yeah, that it will. We will be open 24 hours throughout the week, throughout the summer. Looking forward to a good summer.
Golly, and now there are multi-stores down here, Miles. You're involved with, are there 4 or 5 here in Horry County? At least 4 stores here.
There are 4 stores in Myrtle Beach, one in Garden City, there are 2 in Myrtle Beach, and then the reopening of the one in North Myrtle Beach today.
Right. Now you're also involved in some stores in North Carolina as well?
Yes, we have one store in Wilmington, North Carolina, which services that market.
Great. Golly, what's that like for you, Miles, in a family setting, having been involved with this, I guess, virtually since birth?
It's kept me busy. I've enjoyed it, though. It's an enjoyable business to be in, seeing the look and surprise and enjoyment that people get from eating a Krispy Kreme donuts. And the new store that we opened it's oriented towards children more so than some of the past stores. We have a theater viewing room that actually you can see the whole process of making donuts, all the way from the cutting of the donut through the whole thing, from the proofing, the frying, the glazing, going on to the retail market available for the customer.
Golly, Miles, what was this morning like for you, knowing it was the grand reopening today? And I think you must have been up. Did you sleep last night?
Very little. It's been exciting. The market's been in the family since the 1960s. This is a new concept as far as the theater-style store. It just means a lot to me and to my family to keep redeveloping Krispy Kreme and keeping it in the family and keeping the tradition of Krispy Kreme North Myrtle Beach.
Absolutely. It is so exciting to learn about Krispy Kreme. I went to school in Winston-Salem, so I used to go by and see the home store on a regular basis. I guess the one up there on up on Stratford, which had been there a heck of a long time, and just the facility there in Winston-Salem, everything that revolves around Krispy Kreme's incredible.
Well, Winston-Salem actually is the headquarters and the home office for Krispy Kreme. It was founded in 1937 in Winston-Salem by the Rudolph family. And it has expanded from there through the southeast through the first majority of this time, and in the last 10 years it's expanded to the west coast.
Right, and into Canada and into the UK. It's incredible to see the list of locations, but to think until it looked like on a chart that someone had provided me, it looked like until the early 90s it was 50 or 60 stores, as you said, primarily in the southeast, and to think y'all were involved in, golly, about 5 of them. I mean, a 12th of them down here along the coastline.
Right, it was a closely held corporation. It was not public. Primarily in the southeast, as you said, to Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolina, kind of up the coast area. And in 99, I believe, it went public, and has done very well, and since then grown through Europe now, Australia, Hawaii, through the west coast, and still growing.
Wow, Miles. Yeah, what's that like? I mean, to think about that aspect, of course, to be so close to the home where it was started in 1937, I think you said, and then in the 70s, I saw a big company out of Chicago bought it, Beatrice, and then later a group out of maybe Alabama or somewhere, the McAlee family came together and got it, and then later y'all came back in together to take it back over, which was very exciting.
Yeah, Beecher's Foods actually had it in the early 80s, probably 80 to 82.
Right.
And my father actually, with a group of other men that were at that time operators of Krispy Kreme, got together in 1982 to buy the market and the rights of the recipe for Krispy Kreme back from Beatrice,
Right.
and operated it.
And what's that like, having a special recipe?
It's privately held. It's a secret that we keep. They say it's locked in the safe somewhere.
Right.
But it is a unique blend that we use to make our product, and it's been the same formula since 1937 that we know.
Golly, Miles. Yeah, you got to think about that. Just think about I mean, you know, how exciting that is to know there is a secret recipe somewhere. I guess to not know where, I mean, to know where it is, but surely not to let it out.
Right. The mix has stayed the same, and we mix everything on hand at each location. We have all the equipment. We use the raw ingredients of flour, yeast, the shortening, sugar, and we put it all together right there on the store level to provide the freshness quality that we do give to our customers.
Now, Miles, you know, we think about donut locations or different stores around the southeast in the country, and so much of the focus has been in the recent past on expanding the lines of donuts or getting into bagels or into other things, or even getting into coffee, and coffee's become a big push. Has that affected y'all's focus on the stores, or has it just enabled you to look at a lot of different avenues to grow the donut brand, the Krispy Kreme brand?
Krispy Kreme has, in the last couple of years, they have purchased a coffee company. We do all our own roasting of the beans on hand in Winston-Salem. Coffee bean is extremely fresh. It's not vacuum bagged ever. We've also got our complimentary lines now with flavored milks, frozen drinks, the cappuccinos, just all the complimentary line of coffees to go with the donut.
Talk about growing up in Myrtle Beach, Miles, and working in the family business. What was that like for you at an early age? Was this, I guess, your first childhood job was being in one of the locations or traveling to multiple locations?
It's been exciting. You get termed to be the donut man or the donut boy growing up, and it's been exciting. There's always a lot of people and a lot of exciting activities going around Krispy Kreme. And Myrtle Beach, especially with the amount of tourism we encounter every year, it's exciting the amount of people that come in and experience their first hot Krispy Kreme donut in one of our locations. And it's interesting and unique when they come in and you find out that this is their first time at a Krispy Kreme, and we hand them a hot Krispy Kreme donut. Kind of sets them aside for a little bit, and they really enjoy it.
Right, taking it in, as you say. And so many Northerners come into the area that hadn't yet experienced. I think I saw there were 6 stores in New York City itself. When you think about a city like Boston, where there's, for instance, a Dunkin' Donuts on every street corner, I mean, folks get used to something in a city, and so the expansion of Krispy Kreme into the north and obviously into the west has been a huge expansion.
That it has. It's done really well. It's caught us off guard a little bit. It's the amount of expectations and the support that we do receive in these other markets with the Krispy Kreme and the Hot Light. The amount of people we have that get out into stores early in the morning, camp out, wait to be the first customer in these stores. It's really unique.
Where do you know, Miles, where that idea for the Hot Light came from? Was that something that came out of Winston-Salem, or is that one of the franchises like yourself? Do you know?
I'm not exactly sure the whole history of the Hot Light, but as more and more people would come in and experience, as we were running the ovens, getting the hot donuts out, I think it was just somebody came up with the idea they needed to create something letting the public know that we were baking our donuts at that time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So when the Hot Light is on, we are making the donuts.
It is amazing. And, of course, that activity now... There's in so many places, there's the front of the house and the back of the house, and so many folks don't see what happens in the back area. For y'all, everyone's seeing everything all the time, like in the new location that opened this morning.
Yeah, the new location, when you walk in, you actually can experience the whole donut making process. You see the mixers, the proofer, the fryers. You can see everything that's going on in the store, the processing of the donuts, the putting the chocolate on them, the filling them. It is all right in front of you. You're pretty much standing in the production room when you walk into the store.
That is incredible. For the last couple hours, I guess you've seen a lot of smiling faces up there before running down here.
That we have. It's been busy.
Yeah. Crazy day. Let's go back to your dad looking into, and of course you weren't there in '66 when he decided to buy out, I guess, whoever had the local the couple of franchises, but he had moved down here, I think I saw in 1960.
Yes, he moved down here in 1960. He's actually a pharmacist by trade from Clinton, North Carolina. He and my mother moved here, and in 1966 purchased the Krispy Kreme franchise. And I believe in '68 he discontinued the pharmacy line and went straight into Krispy Kreme, and we are where we are today.
Golly, Miles. Well, you think of those aspects, of course, of North Carolina, a Tar Heel who moves to the beach, and so many folks move down here from North Carolina. But that experience of being involved in one line of business, going to something entirely separate, the transition for him. Did he ever talk about that? Those days of being in pharmacy for 6 or 8 years down here, and then moving into the Krispy Kreme brand?
It was definitely a transition for him getting into it. Actually, I have a piece of paper still in the office when he purchased the franchise from Myrtle Beach that has a list of his employees, and it actually shows how to make a donut, and that's where he started. It's small, but to the point of what to do and not to do in the Krispy Kreme business for Myrtle Beach.
Oh yeah, very definitely. I think I saw there was a piece that was provided for me when he opened the location there in 1970. I get the location, is it on First Avenue
First
South?
Avenue.
The new location. They showed pictures of all the employees there in the facility, and the GM there was going to be operating, and the associate, obviously your dad, Elbert Herring.
Correct, Elbert Herring.
Yeah. For him, I mean, that experience, of course, have there been folks that have been with you since the beginning?
We do have, actually there is one gentleman, Herman White, who's been with us since in the early 60s. And we do have, I'm lucky, I've got a lot of people that have had a lot of experience with Krispy Kreme and have been with me anywhere from, one gentleman's had 35 years experience with Krispy Kreme, one's got 17 years, and just we have a lot of good experienced people to keep my market going. And I'm very fortunate to have that.
Miles, talk a little bit about, of course, the big focus is the grand reopening of the North Myrtle Beach location, but share with the viewers a little bit about each of the locations that you're involved in. Heading down south to Garden City, where's that location, where's it located, and a little bit about the store?
The Garden City location is 2856 Highway 17. It's right near Atlantic Beach, or Atlantic Avenue.
Right.
They have 100 South Kings Highway in Myrtle Beach, and you have 1806 North Kings Highway in Myrtle Beach, and then the store we opened today is at 1300 Highway 17 North Myrtle Beach.
Right.
The store at First Avenue does provide the wholesale and in-store bakery deliveries that we service throughout our market. The other stores are strictly retail oriented with the Hot Light and different varieties. We have expanded with some coffees in the stores. We have different collectible items that are now available, t-shirts and hats and coffee mugs available. Just trying to expand everything we keep in the store to just give a unique experience for the customers when they come in, to have different items available. We are constantly testing different type of donuts, different flavors, toppings, fillings, and we seem to work out very well. We have a good support team from Krispy Kreme corporate coming up with our product line that we keep available.
Do they come down to the stores on a regular basis? I guess it's good at some level to be close to Winston-Salem, but other times people, I guess, could pop in unexpectedly.
They do come in and pop in, but we do support them. They come in, and I welcome them into the market because they a lot of times have good advice for us on what to do to better my business. So It works out well.
Absolutely. Miles, what's that like for you during the day? Do you travel around to all the stores on a regular basis, or do you spend time in a certain store on a certain day?
I try to visit all the stores at least once a week. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but I try to visit all of them on a daily basis, just check on everything. Like I said, luckily I do have some good direct operations and my managers that do keep our standards of quality up, and I just check on them.
Do you get to visit competitors at all? Do you travel around to other locations to check out how other folks are doing things?
Not really. I really don't go into the competition's markets much. I pretty much just focus on my market and my business and make sure I'm doing everything correct.
Right. We got about 10 minutes, Miles, and we think about, obviously this morning and the reopening of was it a reopening of a location, or was it an entirely new facility? How did y'all lead up to today's, was it a grand reopening? It had been a location that had been there for a while. Did y'all tear down a building and build an entirely new facility, or is this just an add-on or a redo of the entire facility?
On January 5th, we actually tore down the old building that was built in 1972. We are trying to keep the big trademark Krispy Kreme sign on the road, but January 5th, we tore down one, and we've been building ever since and got it open today, and looking forward to a good summer.
They were flying to get that done, Miles. What's that been like, working with all the folks? And how many, for a viewer who may not be familiar with tearing something down and then 5 months later opening something back up, talk about, or is it 4 months? I guess it was a really quick move. Can you share a little bit about what that's been like, monitoring the reopening of the facility there?
It's been interesting. I've enjoyed it. It's been trying at times, but to tear down on January the 5th and to get the site ready to start back up, I believe we started back on the 19th of January, putting the building back up. And it's been a lot of education for me. I think everybody involved, but it's turned out very well. We're very pleased with the building. It's a unique situation. It's nothing. Myrtle Beach has never had anything like this before. It's the latest, greatest Krispy Kreme theater type donut store. So it's exciting to see it come together. It's been a lot of hard work from a lot of people, but it's paid off.
Golly, Miles, it's got to be. Now, when you were growing up, as you said, that aspect of being the donut boy at some level, was that, I mean, you were constantly working in the stores. Do you remember your first childhood job there in the location?
I believe one of my first jobs was Krispy Kreme, starting out actually in production. Morning shift, coming in at 4:30 to 5, working till about 2. All my friends would joke around about time to make the donuts. But it was enjoyable. It was some long, hard days, but went from there, and then I went and learned a wholesale business. Started working on route trucks, delivering product, then got into management, and then eventually purchased the market from my father in 2000. And it's just been operating ever since and growing and putting new ideas and incorporating all of Krispy Kreme's ideas into it.
Right. You think back to yourself working in there as a child and being able to maintain some normalcy in school. That must have been difficult.
Well, it was primarily summertime.
Oh, right. Okay,
it was all
sure.
summertime jobs. I was in school and focused on that primarily all winter and sports, but in the summertime it was time to go to work at the donut shop.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever get friends into the stores or get folks in to let them see what it was like behind the scenes? But, of course, for y'all, I guess, with so much out in the open there in the stores, just the entire process making.
Well, Krispy Kreme has always focused on children, fundraising, getting youth into the store. We have kids tours available at the new store. Schools can come in and bring their classrooms in, and we'll provide them with a complimentary Krispy Kreme hat and a donut, and kind of give them a little education on how a donut's being made and the whole process. So it's focused towards children a lot now. We like having them in the store.
Right, and that's all the locations.
All the locations.
Okay. So schools would actually come bring groups in to check out the stores.
We have schools, Cub Scout groups, Girl Scouts. We have just baseball teams. Anybody can come in and have a little private party and education as to how a donut's being made and taste it and enjoy the experience.
Do you all ever interact with charities to, for instance, help them get a product they could sell in the marketplace to raise funds for charity events?
Our fundraising is very popular. We work with schools, different organizations, churches, and we have a good price on the product where they can make a lot of money up front. Profit comes to them to begin with. They go out and pre-sell the items, the donuts, to the market, and then they set up what they call a donut day, and we deliver to them. We'll deliver 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to where they would like us to be with the donuts, 300 dozen or more, and we'll be there and drop them off and move on.
Right, 300 dozen or more. So that's the cutoff. If a group comes to you and says we can sell at least 300 dozen.
We'll deliver 300 dozen or more. Now, our price breaks start at 50 dozen or more.
Oh, great.
For wholesale, we have some in-store pricing too, but the fundraising price starts at 50 dozen or more. We'll discount them heavily.
Spectacular. And that would just be for viewers or their charitable groups within Horry County, or can you expand, or up in the Brunswick County areas, New Hanover? Can you expand into other areas?
No, my market cannot, but all Krispy Kreme markets do have a fundraising program.
Okay. Who's the store owner there in the PD area that some of our viewers would be familiar with?
The Florence market, the two stores are owned by Ronnie Warren, and he has two sons, Brian and Jeff, that operate that market.
So a viewer could contact those stores and check with them as well.
Right.
Okay, great. That must be very exciting, Miles, having school groups in to see children in for their first time to see a donut being made.
It's exciting. They enjoy it. See their face eating that donut with the glaze on their lips. It's exciting.
Oh yeah. I just got that glaze off mine. You know, the agenda for today. Did y'all? You talked about some of the radio stations coming out for live remotes out during this entire week. A whole lot going on. What was that aspect of thinking about folks coming out and surely that experience of a first timer being out there experiencing the donut for you and to see that? For instance, this morning, what was that like?
We've had a lot of good support, a lot of return people from the past store that are excited to see us back open. I believe we've had some people today that had their first experience with Krispy Kreme. It's gone very well. I think we've got some old customers back and we're getting some new ones.
Oh yeah, very definitely. And Miles, when you were growing up, did you have family involved in the business? I mean, it was your dad, brothers and sisters involved?
My brother and sister were both involved in the company also. We've pretty much all grown up in the business since the start.
Right. How about your mom? Was she ever involved? I guess everyone had to be involved.
She was involved early on, but she stayed at home, took care of us, and got us raised.
Right.
So,
got you ready so you could be involved. That's wonderful. When you think about now, do you make trips to Winston-Salem on a regular basis, to the home office? Is there something like training for employees or otherwise that goes on in Winston-Salem?
They do have different training programs for sales managers, director of operations, team leaders. We periodically send different groups to a training program up there to learn the latest methods and techniques and any new ideas they might be incorporating into the markets in the future.
Right. If a viewer wanted to learn more about that opportunity to get their charity involved with the chance to be able to sell donuts at a great cost, what would be the best number for someone to call? Is there a phone number for one of the stores in particular they could call, or would they need to go into a store? Who would they want to ask for if they visited a store?
The Myrtle Beach store, First Avenue, does a lot of our Myrtle Beach area, Georgetown, that market fundraising, and the phone number there is 843-448-3641, and Jerry Hilton is the general manager at that location. And at North Myrtle Beach, we expect to do some fundraising there too in the northern market, and that is 843-272-5595, and the manager there is Preston Lassiter.
Okay.
But anybody should be able to help anybody calling in as far as pricing and setting up an order.
Great. Okay, well that's very attractive. That opportunity you said just to begin the great pricing at 50 dozen or more. There are a heck of a lot of groups that could experience that. And you said Cub Scout groups come in as well as school groups. You must have a heck of a lot of folks coming around year round.
We've had a lot of different groups that have actually paid for anywhere from jerseys to uniforms, band equipment, by selling Krispy Kreme donuts.
Mm-hmm. If there was a point you wanted to make to viewers in particular about getting out to see the new location that reopened today, Miles, what would be that most important point?
Just to come experience the whole process of making donuts. We are giving away, when the hot light is on, we give away a free Krispy Kreme donut, original glazed, when the hot light is on, to make sure everybody experiences that treat, and just come see us.
You heard him say it. The hot light is not on all the time, but it's on a heck of a lot. And if you get in there, you get a free donut. Miles, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Miles Herring coming up next. Whether it's today for the grand reopening of the North Myrtle Beach Krispy Kreme, or any day this summer and year-round, 6 to 11 a.m. or p.m., 6 to 11 a.m. or p.m., if the hot light is on, you get a free original glazed donut. Get in there whether the hot light's on or not. The experience of seeing the theater-type performance of the donut from beginning to end before it gets in your mouth. You need to get out there. Miles Herron and his family have had this business, golly, since 1966, and to experience it for him in a family setting for so many years is exactly why he's here with us today. Get out there.